I am making a Malefic deck profile. Malefics is a deck I've always been interested in ever since I saw Bonds Beyond Time. But I've always been disappointed by how you can only control one Malefic monster. Well, that's changed, thanks to the addition of Malefic territory. So now this is one of my favorite decks now. Starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Effect Failure, so I can stop my opponent from trying to do stuff during their turn so I can OTK them on my turn. And then I play 3 copies of Malefic Paradox Gear. Paradox Gear has the effect of, while there's a field spell in play, you can tribute it to then special summon one Malefic Paradox Gear from your deck, and then add a Malefic monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. And if you would summon a Malefic monster that would requires you to banish a monster, then you can remove Paradox Gear from your field or graveyard for the requirement. And then Malefic Parallel Gear has the effect of, if you were to synchro summon with it, the other monster has to be a Malefic monster from your hand. And I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. This is another card that helps me try to stop my opponent from doing things on their turn so I can OTK them on mine. Then moving into the actual big boss monsters of the deck, which is pretty much all its deck is, just a bunch of beat sticks. 3 Malefic Stardust. All the Malefics have this share the effect of, if there's not a field spell in play, destroy it. You can only control one Malefic monster. And then it no, something else. But Malefic Stardust, however, is the only Malefic monster that requires you to banish another monster to summon it that has its own effect. It has the effect of, while there's a field spell in play, it cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. Which is why it's played in decks that need their field spell. This next card can be taken out, but I only play it because I'd rather try to banish them without having to use my Paradox or Gears, something else. But I play 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is only here so you can summon Malefic Blue Eyes. Speaking of Malefic Blue Eyes, I play 3 copies of it. It's just a 3000 attack beat stick, as well as the one Malefic Rainbow Dragon, which you always summon by banishing a Paradox Gear, and 3 Malefic Cyberend. These two are 2 of the bigger beat sticks in the deck. There's only these 2 and Malefic Truth Dragon have 4000 attack points, but the biggest one is one that I don't see most people playing, which I don't understand why. Just because it's funny when it randomly comes out. But I also play 1 Malefic Truth Dragon. Malefic Truth Dragon is the biggest Malefic monster in the deck. It has 5000 attack points. And it has a battle phase effect, but if you have territory in play, it never comes up. But it has the effect, if it destroys one monster your opponent controls, it destroys the rest of them. Which was good for them when you can only control one Malefic monster. Then Malefic Territory showed up and said nay nay. And that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I play 1 copy of 1-for-1 since Paradox Gear is a level 1. I play 2 Malefic Divide. This is a quick play monster reborn for them that banishes the Malefic monster you bring back during the end phase. But normally, if this is activated, it's because you're going into the extra deck or you're about to beat your opponent's face in mercilessly. I play 3 Called by the Grave so I can stop hand traps. 3 copies of Malefic Selector. Malefic Selector lets you banish 2 Malefic monsters, or Malefic cards from your graveyard, to then add 2 Malefic cards that have different names from the 2 banished and the Selector in each other. And normally, you'll be having Selector choose a territory and something else. Usually, I have noticed for me, it's usually also Malefic Stardust or Malefic Cyberend. But territory on activation lets you grab or activate a Malefic World from your deck. And it changes the condition of the Malefic monsters from you can only control 1 Malefic to you can only control 1 Malefic of the same name. Which is why this card allowed Malefics to be so much more than they currently were. So that card's made them better. And then Malefic World has the effect of you can skip your draw phase to then choose 3 Malefic cards from your deck, reveal them, Then your opponent randomly chooses one to add to your hand. The other two get shuffled back into the deck. The only downside of this is it can be ashed. And if your opponent ashes the Malefic World, then you just don't get an additional card that turn. But again, that effect usually doesn't come up because you're OTKing your opponent. That is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. I play... I'm having a bad day with that. I have to pick everything up. Okay, moving on to the extra deck now. Don't know why this is coming out so terribly. Play 3 Malefic Stardust Dragon, just so you can summon Malefic Stardust Dragon. 3 Cyber End Dragon, just so you can summon Malefic Cyber End. Then moving on to the cards you actually use. I play 1 Dragosios, the Corrupt Nether Soul Dragon. This card is funny just because if it destroys a monster in battle, it can attack again. Or it can attack another monster. And it can't be destroyed in battle, so you don't have to worry about Bulbasaur with it. And then, during your standby phase, if you're ever able to not OTK your opponent, this lets you target one monster your opponent controls during your standby, have that monster's attack points, and then your opponent takes damage equal to the change in its attack points. And then, should that ever get destroyed, I also play 2 copies of Malefic Paradox Dragon. Paradox Dragon has the effect of, when it's summoned, you target one synchro monster in either player's graveyard and special summon it. The only thing I don't know about it is if it's special summon says, if you target a synchro in your grave, is who gets it. I assume your opponent gets it because it doesn't say special summon to your field. But I might be wrong about that, so if you know if this can special summon a pawn synchro monster to your field, please let me know. Or let me know so I know whether or not that's true. Moving on to the Xyz monsters. They play 1 Lancelot, Dark Knight of the Underworld. It can attack directly while it has materials, and if your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can use 1 material to negate it. Hope Harbinger Dragon, Titanic Galaxy. This card is spell and trap or spell negation. Its effect reads: if your opponent activates a spell or card or effect, meaning the effect of a spell, so you can't just go, oh, you're activating your monster effect, I'm activating my dragon's effect to negate it. That's not how that works. It negates the effect of the activation of a spell or effect. So your opponent activates Diagram. That the activation's fine. They activates effect. You change Titanic Galaxy, and now they lose the field spell. I play 1 number 22. It's just another negation, and it's a really big beat stick too. However, something I would honestly take this out for Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer, but I don't have that. Galaxy Destroyer is a rank 10 that requires 3 level 10 monsters, which isn't an issue for this deck. It's a 5,000 attack, 3,200 defense machine light monster that has the effect of being able to use the material to destroy all your opponent's spell and trap cards, and they can't use the spell or trap in response to its activation. Then I play 1 number 97, Draglubian. This card is now stupid with Master Roll 5, but it lets you use a material, target 1 or 2 number these dragon monsters that have different names, or I believe they have different names. And then you special summon one of them that's either in your extra deck or your graveyard, and attach the other as material. So normally, if you're going second, and there's a bunch of Xyz monsters in play, I'll summon number 100 by attaching number 38. Or if I'm going first, I'll target the same 2, summon number 38, and attach number 100. But it has the effect of during the damage step, when it battles, you use material, its attack points become 1,000 times the combined rank. So if it's just Draglubian in this, its attack points are 9,000. And in the event you're unable to murder your opponent, then I also play this. 1 Birthday Candle. Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. It lets you use 1 material, burn your opponent for 2,000. That's it. And then, I don't normally do this, but because this is my current main deck, I'll also go into the side deck. For my side deck, I play 3 Ghost Ogre, because the decks it's good against, it's good against. 3 Ghost Spell, 4 Orchist. Screw you. 3 Shared Ride, so if I'm facing a deck that likes to search a lot, I get to draw. 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier, so I can stop my opponent from trying to do stuff. Like against Fluffle, Call Fusion, now they lose. And then this next card I feel like might be a bad thing to play at the moment, considering what's going on with preventing the playing of locals, but I also play 3 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Probably not the best card to be playing at the moment, but it lets you tribute a dark monster that has at least 2,500 attack points, which is every big monster in this deck you would summon, and then either call spell, trap, or call either spells or traps, and then looking at your opponent's hand, all their cards set on their field, and every card they draw for their next 3 draw phases, and destroy all the ones of that declared type. So normally you call spell with this, and they lose all their spell cards, and then they cry because they probably can't do anything after that. That is it for my Malefic deck. If you have any idea of what I can do to try to improve the deck, whether it's the main, extra, or side, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching.